Hey there, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. I just watched The Mandalorian, and let me tell you something, it lived up to all my expectations. I was so looking forward to this show, and it did not disappoint. This is Star Wars to the pinnacle. It will satisfy the most ravenous fan. But that said, it isn't pandering either. It builds its own world. The music is unique. It doesn't try and copy John Williams. It doesn't try and copy any of the other kind of episode one, two prequel movies. None of that. It builds its own thing. It embraces the lore and it embraces the expanded media. Now, I'm going to be getting into spoilers, but I'll give you a warning when I do that. But first off, Pedro Pascal, what is he like? Well, he is fantastic. Yesterday, I was having a discussion with my friend Anthony, and he was basically worried that we were going to get a one note kind of Boba Fett badass character. And to be honest, I thought that was the case at the start. I thought we were just going to get a carbon copy of Boba Fett. But as the story progresses, we see the Mandalorian has a creed, has a code, and he worships and follows that code. And I'll get more into that when it comes to spoilers, but Pedro Pascal gives layers to the character. We see, even that we don't see his face, his emotions, his actions, we see that there's someone with a purpose and with an ideal and with a drive to do something. He is good at his job, he is a badass, but he isn't just a one trick pony. Going into the spoiler territory now, there's a scene where he goes to what is essentially a Mandalorian chapel to have new armor forged. The Mandalorians covet their armor, and it's almost a religious experience. So he gets a particular metal as a form of bounty payment and has it forged into a new kind of a new shoulder pad, and it's almost like a religious experience for him. So that's pretty cool. We get to see a bit more of the Mandalorian culture, and we see that this guy isn't just driven by kind of just by greed. He won't be fucked over. If he is screwed over, he won't take shit, like. But by and large, he is someone with a purpose and a drive. He's not just totally cold blooded like Boba Fett. There is a lot of elements to the character that shares aspects of Boba Fett, but he he seems to have a more layered and deep kind of backstory. And again, Pascal's kind of movements and nuances shows that he's more than just this kind of faceless, nameless badass. There is the aspect of the Sergio Leone Batman with no name, or the Kurosawa kind of Yojimbo character, but there's a layer and a depth there, and I like the fact it's shown in just wee glimpses. The end of the episode defines why he's different from the likes of Boba Fett, or he's different from some carbon copy badass. Again, I'm not going to go into too much spoilers with that, but by the end of the episode, you see that he's different from other bounty hunters or other mercenaries in the Star Wars universe. The rest of the cast is pretty cool. You've Carl Weathers as the head of the Bounty Hunters Guild. You have Werner Herzog turning up as this mysterious client, and I think the guy is awesome. He's either a former Imperial, because his security detail seems to be stormtroopers. Now, whether these are his own kind of personal unit from back in the war with the rebellion, or whether these kind of stormtroopers have hired themselves out as hired goons, I'm not 100% sure. But again, I like this aspect that it focuses on what the galaxy is like after the rebellion overthrew the Empire. That's the cool thing. For as bad as the Empire were, they kept order in the universe, and we can see that things are slightly going to shit. Other characters that we encounter is an Ugnaught who teaches the Mandalorian how to ride a blurg. I think that's what it's called, a blurg. Which, if I'm not mistaken, those creatures are actually originally from, I think, the Ewoks movie, Battle for Endor. Gorax's soldiers were using them. But yeah, that was a nice. There's nice little like throwbacks and nods, like the fact they have a creature from the Ewoks movie, And one of the Mandalorian's bounties is like, "Oh, I hope to be home by Life Day," and it's like the fact they're even referencing the holiday special. I really enjoyed. But if you're an avid Star Wars fan, there is so much there to enjoy, and it's so cool. Taika Waititi turns up as an IG, I think 55. I think that's the name of the robot, but it is essentially IG-88. He can download his consciousness into other robots, and him and the Mandalorian teaming up is rather funny when they take on a bunch of kind of goons, and he keeps on wanting to self-destruct, and the Mandalorian is like, "Don't bloody self-destruct." But yeah, the action is cool. It goes at a very brisk pace. If I had to kind of lie any kind of criticism, is I just think the 38-minute run left me wanting more. If I had gotten 10 more minutes of the show, I would have really enjoyed it. But as my housemate John was saying, that at the budget that each of these episodes are, you can totally understand why it's it's so short. But again, it was an awesome show. I just think they've really handled the character well. We're not just getting a one note badass, and I'm going to be interested to see how they explore the character more, because when he's in the kind of the Mandalorian chapel, we see flashbacks to his childhood, or what appears to be his childhood, and we do get the sense this character is a lot more rounded than, say, like Boba Fett or Dengar or IG-88, the other bounty hunters. This guy has a history, a backstory, and a drive, and it is kind of cool as well to see the whole Mandalorian ceremony with the armor. Again, it's like a religious experience. But yeah, definitely check this out. I'm really looking forward to the next episode. And have you seen this episode? If so, what did you think of it? Had you any favorite moment or favorite character or favorite part? Leave them in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.